Today is a very sad day. I have officially admitted defeat on the 100 miles on Zwift ride. Which brings me on to today's subject, indoor training versus outdoor training. Which is better? Can Trainerroad, Sufferfest, Zwift really compete and beat outdoor cycling? You're probably thinking, why on earth do I care? Because the cycling world is completely divided with this, and I was on a Facebook group and it kicked off about indoor or outdoor training over the winter.
If you want some, I'll give it you.
So I am going to settle this today. Let's start with the obvious ones. Firstly, convenience, Zwift, Trainerroad, all of them hands down win this one. Unfortunately, you get up, you get on, you ride. The same principles do apply for outdoor training, but it's a ball ache, I'm not gonna lie. You got to decide what kit you want to wear, whether you need waterproofs, putting your overshoes on. And if you don't have a lot of time, getting on the indoor trainer is a lot more convenient. Next up, the weather, the great British weather. Now don't get me wrong, if you live in the North Pole or anywhere that looks remotely like this, you're on the indoor trainer. But in the UK, we probably have a week of snow. The rest of it is just miserable for the whole winter. So yes, Trainerroad Zwift is really appealing, and someone commented saying you won't get as fit outdoors because you can't do the efforts in the weather. What? Now, yes, Zwift, Trainerroad, Sufferfest make it extremely easy for you to hit your numbers and do your efforts. You put it in a gear, you get your head down and you just rip the head off it. Now outside there are considerations, but what are you going to do on race day if it's pissing down with rain? Get your turbo out. Yeah. You can't do it. You need to learn how to ride in these crap conditions. Get used to them. It will happen throughout the summer. It will rain. What you gain in convenience on the trainer, you lose in bike handling skills and just general knowledge of the gears you need to be in for certain climbs, cadences you prefer, rather than just stick it in a gear and go absolutely nutter for an effort. Now the next 3 points I hate for and against indoor versus outdoor, so we're going to rattle them off quick. Mental fortitude. Now yes, you've got to be hard as nails to go out in crappy weather, but have you ever done a VO2 max effort on an indoor trainer? Time stands still. Now that shit's savage. Bike maintenance. Yes, your bike gets in a shit state throughout the winter. There's no question about that. You have to clean it after every ride. It's a pain in the arse. But bikes are made to be ridden, so that one's completely off the table. And thirdly, the last one I hate, crashing. Don't get me wrong, the risk of crashing is higher in the winter, yes. But that comes back to my original point of bike handling skills. You've got to learn them to race in the wet. Now, if you're not racing, not planning on racing, you're just using indoor training to get fit and you don't want to crash, perfect. Stick with it. But you cannot live your life worrying about crashing. It's part and parcel of the sport.
If you're not crashing, you ain't going hard enough.
And you can still crash on the indoor trainer. Next up, how realistic are they? Now, if you've got a smart trainer, that is some serious technology in there, and they are realistic. You can feel the grade, downhill, uphill, etc. But don't get me wrong, I cannot do 100 miles outside in sub 4 hours. And nothing is more realistic than going out and doing the actual thing.
Yes, science!
Next up, racing. Now Zwift is obviously epic for this indoors. A lot of the other setups aren't as good, but nothing beats real life racing. Pandemic aside, we will get back to racing and rubbing shoulders, battling with people, learning the tactics. is incredible outside, which links back to bike handling skills. Do not neglect it. You're not only putting yourself at risk when you race, you're putting everyone else at risk. And although Zwift racing, in my opinion, doesn't compare to outside racing, it is still great fun and a great way to give yourself an absolute savage workout. Yes, the elephant in the room, people do cheat on Zwift racing, drop their weight, blah blah blah, but as long as you're true to yourself and don't be so naive to think that everyone at your local race is clean, because I hate to say it, but that is sport. The chances are someone's done something or is doing something, and it's just reality.
No, 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 no.
So just have fun, get after it and enjoy it. And look who it is, return of the Rocket. 3 weeks off the bike. She is going to be walking dodgy tomorrow. But most importantly, the question is, Sarah, or well, Sarah, scrap that. Rocket, indoors or outdoors for training?
Well, if you train indoors, there's no mud coming in the house, there's no muddy bikes, muddy clothes to clean up. But when you train indoors, the conservatory is just like a sweat fest, and all smelly. So I don't know really.
So what are we saying, in or out?
Out in the summer, in the winter.
Ooh, controversial. Video finished. The Rocket has spoken. The Rocket has spoken, but let's wrap this one up. What is truly better, indoors or outdoors? And honestly, there isn't a better option. They're just different. If you prefer riding outside, ride outside. If you prefer riding inside, ride inside. The main thing that matters is what gets you on your bike and training, and if it gets more people on their bikes, that is great. But if you're serious about getting fast and racing, why wouldn't you want to utilize all the technology out there? Indoors, outdoors, don't just pick one, as along the line something will get neglected. Use the technology and just become a beast. Catch you in the next video.